It's so hot. Johnny Mac, it's the fourth show in a row you said that. I know. I recorded on Thursday. It was 96 degrees and I wanted to go to the beach all weekend. I recorded in advance. It's hot. Trevor Noah looked into why Instagram sucks lately, causing many followers to publicly complain about the unusability of the app. Trevor said, everything's an ad, and your feed is full of people you don't follow, which is so confusing. I'm scrolling, and I start reading someone's post, and I'm like, do I know this person? Was I supposed to be at this wedding? And then you look, and it's like, oh, because you follow your friend, we thought you might like a post from a stranger. No, I don't. That's right, people. You thought Instagram was for seeing pictures of your friends. Well, that's over. You were always bitching about brunch pics. Now you're going to be begging to see them. Seems like Instagram wants to get into the algorithm game, and that's what I'm worried about because it's going to change everything. Algorithms are only about engagement. They only feed you things that make you angry, that make you sad, make you horny. Now, the problem with that is it all happens within a few posts. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's just like, oh, I'm so mad about this random racist event, and I'm sad about all the poverty, and goddamn, that ass is fine. All right, let's click on another article without pre-reading it because that always makes for a great podcast, Johnny Mac. USA Today's 10 comedians to watch in 2022 from Vinnie Thomas to Sheng Wang. These 10 comedians are primed to break big. Let's click. Boy, when you click through, the headline kind of dumbs down to just 10 up-and-coming comedians you need to know. Boy, that was much more elaborate before I clicked through. At the height of the pandemic, sketch and stand-up comedians were forced to adapt their work for at-home audiences, many gaining massive followings, such as viral comedy trio Please Don't Destroy. Hack star Meg Statler translated her chaotic character videos into a burgeoning film and TV career. Here are 10 more rising comedy stars who are poised to break out. All right, Catherine Cohen. Cohen's distinctive blend of old-school glamour, irreverent songs, and freewheeling banter has made her a staple of New York's comedy scene, where she performs her weekly Cabernet Cabaret show when she's not on tour. I have not yet watched her Netflix special, The Twist. Have you? Haven't heard too many people talking about it. Vinnie Thomas, the Twitter comedian, has gone viral with several of his droll, front-facing videos playing awkward spokespeople for Less Sexy M&Ms and OnlyFans, and most memorably, a bread-starved pigeon at a Pride event. Karen Chi, the 27-year-old late-night writer, broke out 3 years ago in the show's most charming recurring segment, in which host Seth Meyers quizzed her on her 80s and 90s pop culture. You know, I often see clips of Seth Meyers' show. I read you jokes from Seth Meyers. I'm pretty sure it exists. It's not like a Bob's Burgers level hoax, but is anyone watching Late Night with Seth Meyers? Like, do people stay up to 12:35 and be like, oh, cool, Late Night with Seth Meyers is on? I have nothing against it, but like, it just seems like a show that just sort of exists because David Letterman did a show 40 years ago and we've got a brand, so we keep it going. Like, is there any buzz on Late Night with Seth Meyers? Not being a hater? Well, you sound like a hater, Johnny Man. I'm not a hater. I'm agnostic with a capital A, but like, I don't know. Grace Kulenschmidt, the LA native, took off during the early days of quarantine with her wonderfully weird and specific character videos, including a woman who gets turned down by her roommate mid-cooking demo, and someone who's been excluded from their family's erotic film. Next up, Jeff Wright, the Florida-raised comedian, blew up on TikTok during quarantine with his inspired sketches about game nights in heaven and Gmail security measures, in which he played multiple characters. He was quickly scooped up by Late Night with Seth Meyers. Danielle Perez has brought her no-holds-barred humor to Comedy Central and the Netflix is a Joke Festival. She appeared in the new seasons of Netflix's Russian Doll. That came and went. Did anybody see that? I really liked season 1. I was scrolling through Netflix the other night. Just, you know, when you scroll for like half an hour and then you don't actually watch anything, I was doing that. And I was like, oh yeah, Russian Doll season 2 happened. Danielle Perez was also on HBO's Curb Your Enthusiasm. Zach Zimmerman, known for his genial crowd work and playful musings on sex and dating. His first book, Is It Hot in Here?, will be released this fall. Veer Das. Did not expect to see Veer on the list. Although he's among India's most popular comedians, Das is finally breaking through in the U.S. thanks to roles in Judd Apatow's The Bubble and a viral monologue about sexual violence in his native country. I was recently enjoying him. I think he was on Brett Goldstein's podcast. I was enjoying him. Is that where I heard him? I can't remember. He's currently developing a Fox comedy series executive produced by Mac Packer, Andy Samberg. He'll be on a North American tour this fall. Sydney Washington co-hosts the podcast The Unofficial Expert with fellow stand-up Marie Faustin, in which comedians riff on their fields of expertise, ranging from cookouts to thirst traps to Mariah Carey. Last up, Sheng Wang. Wang has performed on NBC's Last Comic Standing and HBO's Two Dope Queens. He taped his first hour-long Netflix special in June. All right, these are USA Today's 10 up-and-coming comedians you need to know. Over the weekend, I was skimming Interview Magazine's bizarre interview format with Nikki Glaser. Let's jump back in. Nikki Glaser, what's your favorite workout? Nikki said, a long run where I listen to music and pretend I'm in a movie montage where the lead character is struggling with a decision or preparing for some metaphorical or literal battle. Well, how long can you run? I once ran a half marathon. It wasn't official or anything. My brother-in-law and I just ran 13.1 miles one day. I'll never do a full one because I want to be able to walk when I'm 70. What gets you up, Nikki Glaser? In the morning? My dog having to pee, and also food. I skipped breakfast for 20 years of my life because I thought that's what women were supposed to do to stay thin and lovable. I started eating breakfast again a couple years ago and forgot what a motivator it was to get out of the bed in the morning. What keeps you going? The fear that if I don't keep going, someone else will get better than me and take my place and I'll be forgotten. And then when I'm forgotten, I won't be able to make money and my family will end up homeless. What makes you tired? Not getting enough sleep, melatonin, reading, ASMR videos, airplane rides. What keeps you awake? The dread of having to wake up tomorrow morning and start all over again. What makes you sweat? Cardio. Telling a joke that offends someone. Roast don't count because those people are literally asking for it. From Radar Online, George Wallace said he went from viewing Will Smith as his favorite actor to disliking Will Smith and his entire family. Wait, what? Wallace said he drew a line in the sand the moment Will Smith laid a hand on Chris Rock. You know what happened. And he said, I started cussing when Will slapped Chris Rock. He slapped me. I teared up. This mother sucker ruined it for me. I love Will Smith, but I don't like him today. Wallace said at this point, he doesn't think positively about any of the Smiths. Listen to this quote. F Will Smith. F his wife G.I. Jane Jada Smith. F her. F them two little weird-ass kids. F him, F them, F them all. F his grandma, Granny Smith, Stephen A. Smith on ESPN. F him. F any Smith of the Dallas Cowboys. F all the Smiths, okay? I'm the first one to say that night Chris Rock should have sued Will Smith for $200 million because Chris is always going to feel the pain. The Toronto Film Festival kicks off September 8th. Weird, the Al Yankovic story starring Daniel Radcliffe as Weird Al, will be part of the festival at Midnight Madness. Midnight Madness is for the weird and wicked films of the festival. Looking forward to seeing that one. The Aspen Daily News caught up with Tig Notaro. Tig recalls her first open mic experience at a club in L.A. as both exhilarating and terrifying, stating that she got laughs from people, but those laughs were somewhat startling at first. From there, Notaro said she worked her way up by booking numerous open mic gigs at comedy clubs across LA for the next year or two, and the comedian's relationship with her audiences transformed from that initial startling reaction to feeling as though she's laughing with friends at a party. I feel like I look at all audiences just as friends at a party. And I'm not thinking too much beyond that in the exact moment. There isn't time for me to be thinking about too much. My general sense on stage is these people are all friends of mine, and we're at a party having a great time. She said one of the most obvious turning points in her career and life was on August 3rd, 2012, when she addressed her cancer diagnosis during a live stand-up routine on the stage of her LA home-based club, Largo. That set went viral. In the years following, she discussed her journey with breast cancer on stages nationwide, including a 2014 show at Town Hall in New York City, where she did part of the act topless. Tig says, I don't tend to stir things up a lot with my material unless people are uncomfortable with hearing about being gay or having had cancer. She says all her material is informed by personal experience. Whether it's the silliest, most nonsensical thing I'm discussing on stage, or whether I'm speaking out against or in support of someone or something, it's all from a personal place. It's always something real. There are some comedians who go up there and are detached from what they're talking about, but whatever I'm talking about on stage, I'm very connected to. All right, my voice is giving out. Let's do one more thing. Should I do this story about Frankie Boyle? You don't know who that is because he's British. Want to hear about The Fringe? Or yesterday I was reading the USA Today, most influential comedy people, something, something. Let's save that one. The Fringe story is pretty good. Okay. Jordan Gray, writing in The Independent, says, go and see a trans comedian at the Edinburgh Fringe while you still can. The fastest way to disprove Liz Truss's paranoid fantasies about transgender people is to come watch one of us do stand-up comedy. Now, if you're like, who's Liz Truss? Liz Truss is the Foreign Secretary and Equalities Minister of the UK. John Oliver recently made fun of her. Now you know who I'm talking about? She's one of the favorites to become Britain's next Prime Minister. Jordan Gray writes, thankfully, it's still legal for us to express ourselves beneath all the corporate crap and reptilian property owners. The heart of the Edinburgh Fringe still beats with the sentiment that this is where you come to express yourself. My advice, go see a transgender comedian before they kill us all off. Why should you go see a transgender comedian? A hack would give you a joke answer. As a professional, I'll give you 2 jokes and 1 serious one for balance. As a pre-op trans woman with a boob job, I possess a disproportionate number of hilarious appendages. Most of us have experienced both bathrooms within our lifetimes. That's twice the toilet humor for your money, and as much as the UK government would have you believe otherwise, transgender people are incredibly relatable. Who hasn't looked in the mirror and seen a stranger staring back? That can't be me, I'm not that old, or that can't be me, I'm not a person who wears a tie, or that can't be me, I look so sad. Like our comic book namesakes, the X-Men, we walk among you. We're everywhere. Each of us is more unique than the last. There's the hilarious Jen Ives. There's OG British trans comic Andrew O'Neill. And I suppose there's me, this transgender bird off The Voice with her scandalous posters all over town and an hour of musical stand-up about babies, boobies, bigots, and Batman. Jordan Gray, is it a bird? 10:25 at the Box in the Assembly in George Square. That's your comedy news for today. Follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. I remember that iced coffee that I ordered 4 days ago. Yeah, that was only like half an hour ago in like podcast recording time. And my daughter tells me it's here. So I'm going to go up and drink it because my voice is shot. See you tomorrow.